So in the last video we have worked on updating the component by adding the city property with the value San Francisco. We have seen the interpolation of the property inside the template. We have also seen that interpolation can be used to evaluate expressions such as an addition, in this case, of two numbers. Alright, so the next step will be to compose components. All right, so one of the good things with Angular is that you can easily organize your components, so we can have parent-child relationship between two different components. So that's what we see here. We have our app component, okay, which we say usually it's at the root of the app, so that's the main one. And we have another component which is the user component. All right, so we're going to refer to this component inside the app component. So all right, so for that we will see the usage of the selector that we talked about last time, which is a property of the component decorator. This is how we refer to the components. All right, so the first thing we need to do, we need to add a reference to the user component in the app component. So the first thing is to import the user component class in this imports property. If you saw in the previous exercises, we didn't have it because we didn't need it. Now we do need it because we need to import that user component here. All right, so this is a standalone component. We could have had what we call a module file in which we will import and declare the child component, but here we don't need to. We can directly do that in the component itself. So let's do that. Once we have done that, we can now refer to the app user. So here in the preview for now we are not seeing anything because the template of the app component is empty, but actually the app component is loaded. All right, the user component is not. You see it has its template, it has something, but we are not seeing it because we are not seeing it because it is not referred yet in the app component, even though we imported it. So let's just have a look at the template here. If I write test, we should be able to see it. All right, so importing the user component is not enough. We need to import the user component and we need to refer to the component in the template of because that is the template which is displayed at the end. We need to refer to it in the template of the parent, which is the app root. All right, so the way we refer to it is like this. All right, it's exactly as using any HTML element. We use the selector of the component, right? So you see now we can see the content of the template of the child user. Okay, if you see, I can also add test to show you that actually we are in the parent, and the parent is referencing the, wait a little bit, and yeah, so you see you have the content test and the child, which is app user. Okay, here we have username and we have an interpolation username with the string property here, as we have seen in the previous exercise. Okay, so here the app user, we are directly opening and closing the brackets in the same time. However, sometimes you might want to have something we call component projection, meaning you pass content projection, meaning you pass some data to inside the component, and for that you'll need to use it this way and pass whatever data you want to project inside that component here. Here it won't change anything because this component doesn't support content projection. Okay, so since the component doesn't support content projection, obviously it's not doing anything with the test value we want to do here. So when we don't need content projection, we can directly write the component the way they showed us in the tutorial, just like that, the simplest way. All right. Now they are asking us to do a bit more, so to add the section HTML element. All right, wrapping the app user. So yeah, just to show you that you could add an HTML in the parent and then mix it with some references to other components. All right, so we could have had here a paragraph, for example. Okay, or any other type of HTML element. Okay, so that's how we compose component, and the relationship is called the parent-child relationship, where the parent here is the app component and the child is the user component, because the app component is the one that contains the user component. Okay, not to confuse it with parent-child, or in terms of object-oriented programming, where we have inheritance. This is not, there is no, even though we call them parent and child, the child doesn't inherit in this case any property or any method or anything from the parent. Okay, it doesn't know the parent. It's only the parent who knows actually the child. Okay, in a parent-child in the parent-child model of object-oriented programming that we call inheritance, the child knows about the parent because it takes things from the parents that are protected or public. Okay. However, here this composition, we are in a composition model, not an inheritance model. So it's the parent who knows and references the child. Okay. But at the same time, of course, the parent doesn't inherit anything from the child, but it knows it because it refers to it. So that's it for this part. The next part will start control flow with the if annotation that allows you to add more dynamicity in the template with some logic, if else logic, etc. Okay.